Hello and welcome to Rule of Three's video review for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. So this is the end of the Witcher series. I have played both The Witcher and The Witcher 2, although I didn't play them until a couple years ago, so I'm a little late to the Witcher party. But I do like the games, mostly the lore and backstories and kind of just how this world forms. I've even gone into the books, the short story and books that have come out in the past, and I really enjoy the universe of The Witcher. And while the games, I think, have, especially Witcher 1, have had very good highs and very good, kind of pitiful lows, The Witcher 3 is a culmination of everything they've learned and is probably one of the best games of the year so far.
Before you a worm crawls, wretched and small.
How dare you disturb our rest, woman?
So the story of The Witcher 3 takes place a little while after the events of Assassin of Kings. Geralt of Rivia now has his memories back and is searching for the love of his life, Yennefer, as well as his adopted daughter, Ciri, who have both kind of just disappeared and hasn't heard or seen from any of them. He travels amongst the Northern Kingdom, which has been now conquered by, at least most of it has been conquered by the Nephilim Empire. And it's, just him trying to, find his loved ones and not die for the most part. On the whole, the story is actually really, really good. There's the overarching story, which is good, and then there's the, the side quests and kind of minor parts to the overall arc that are, there's just fantastic writing in this game. There are a couple that are just like meh, but on the whole, it's towards the beginning. I'm about halfway through the game. But I cried during one of them. It's very emotional. It's very good. There's a lot of good moral choices which aren't black and white, and you can never tell exactly how they're going to play out in the long run or even the short run, because you kind of just have to trust your instincts. Because you could make the right choice, or you could make a terrible, terrible choice and never know it until later in the game. Which is one of the things I liked about even the past Witcher games, is that it's never immediate. The effects of some of your choices in the story. It usually takes a while for the effects to fully show themselves, and The Witcher 3 is no exception, and is definitely I think the best story so far out of the Witcher games. And I thought Assassins of Kings was really good.
Yeah, merchant traveling across Velen alone. No way that was going to end well.
So the gameplay for The Witcher 3 is very simple, and I much enjoy it. So you have fast attack, strong attack, your signs, parry, dodge, roll, counter, yada, yada, yada. And use these actions against different enemies and just try to survive and hack and slash your way through it. The things I like about this one in particular is, I don't know if it was just when I played The Witcher 2 or The Witcher 1, it didn't seem, it was especially The Witcher 2, more of a button mash, whereas The Witcher 1 I thought had terrible combat. But anyway, Witcher 3 I thought was a good strategic action RPG in terms of combat speed, because you could easily just go square, 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 and you'd take a lot of damage, but you would kill everything most likely, or you die, one or the other, depending if it's just too much. But if you played it smart, you could just devastate everybody, especially if you can learn when to parry and counter different attacks from different enemies to get them off balance, because the AI is somewhat intelligent and will kind of will easily block a lot of your stuff or even dodge, which I give Project CD Red some props for. Other than that, you have your every time you level, you'll get a talent point, and you can spend these in one of 4 trees. Well, 5. No, is it 4? No, it's 4. It's your base attack, your magic, potions, oils, and your alchemy, and kind of just generic talents. And the cool thing about this one is you can set these talents into a slot, and you can have a mutagen on one of them. And this mutagen will increase, strength, sign intensity, vitality, whatever the mutagen does. And depending on how many talents of the same color are attached to that mutagen in those 3 slots, will actually buff the mutagen. So you kind of want to do kind of a blue, a red, and a green, or you could do a couple of blues if you just want to focus on magic, a couple of reds, and really up whatever stats you kind of want to do. It's a really good system. I really enjoyed it. In terms of questing, it's if you ever played Dragon Age Inquisition, it's very similar. You have a big open map. You have main quests, side quests, contracts, and a bunch of different things you can do. There's a ton of stuff to do in this game, which is why I really like it. The only downside to all of this is they're all very similar. It's a lot of fetch quests and a lot of just go here, explore, and kill a monster. There's not a whole lot of variety out of this. There are a couple of other types, like the card game in this game is one example. It's probably one of the greatest card games ever. Oh my gosh, I love it. As well as horse racing, which is kind of meh. But, on the whole, it's just a lot of repetitiveness in terms of kind of what you do in the open world. But it's still fun, which is the important thing. And play the card game if you play this game. It's very good. I really enjoyed it. Other than that, let's see what other gameplay elements. Like I said, I already kind of went over the choices and how that plays out later. It's gameplay-wise is very easy to pick up and learn, and is a lot of fun. I had thoroughly enjoyed it.
Whiskey, slither, ringworm, rubbish, bumblebee, flabbergasted. Ha! The sound of it! Peter Piper picked Prince Proximo a pack of pickled peppers by the puntar.
The Witcher 3 is a proper send-off to a series. This is how you end a trilogy. I'm looking at you, Mass Effect. The story is great. Characters are great. Gameplay, I think the best in the series, and everything about this game, other than the repetitiveness of some of the quests, I thought was pretty much on the nose. I'm giving The Witcher 3 a buy rating. So go play this game if you're into RPGs, pretty much. Or even if you're not in RPGs, if you just want a good story, I'd highly suggest The Witcher 3, because you don't even really need to play the past two games. It will help enormously if you've played The Witcher and the Assassin of Kings, but that's, optional, I think. So that's it for this review. Next review will be, I might be doing Magic 2, if not Splatoon. One of those two will definitely be getting a review next week. Just depends on time and money. So thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. Check out ruleof3.com for all our news, postings, and all the other fun stuff that we do. We're going to be starting up a Magic 2 Let's Play series soon. So keep an eye on that, as well as Lizzie is actually working with our sisters to possibly be doing a Legend of Zelda Four Swords Adventure for the GameCube Let's Play. So keep an eye out for that as well. Check out our Patreon page if you can donate. We're trying to get to that $100 marker so I can start up giveaways again. And there might be one next month, depending, because I do have some money left over from last month's Patreon that I haven't spent. And if the Patreon stays at where it's at, it should give me about $60 to do on a giveaway. So that'd be good. So yeah, like us on Facebook, Twitter, all that other boring stuff that usually you say at the end of these things. And that's it. So until next time, always remember to trust in the rule of 3.